Ever wondered why you like a certain smell and a certain fragrance and somebody else completely doesn't like it or can't even stand the smell, or maybe you don't like it? Coming up, I'm going to give you a scientific explanation of why. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody, to Joel the Nose. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about why we like certain smells and why we don't. And there's a very basic scientific principle that has been discovered by researchers who discover or who actually study the science of smell or olfactory senses or the sense of smell, right? And that's called odor associative learning behavior. Odor associative learning behavior. It's almost like a tongue twister there. And what that means is that the scientists believe that we're not born innately with liking certain smells or not. So it's not like you're born liking chocolate or vanilla or hating the smell of skunk or, the smell of chamomile or whatever it may be. These are actually learned, and it's all learned in the context of when we're very young, starting in the womb, when you're in your mother's stomach. There's a reason why typically vanilla is generally liked by most people, because the amniotic fluid that surrounds you as a baby, and of course the mother's milk or formula all has a vanilla smell. So that's one of the reasons why typically most people like the smell of vanilla. But that's one of the earliest things we're exposed to. So the earlier we are exposed to certain smells, and the context we associate those smells with have a big influence on why we like certain smells. For example, there are people out there who actually like the smell of skunk. For those of you who don't know, skunk is the little black and white animal that, as a defense mechanism, sprays this horrible smell that wards off predators. And typically it's one of the worst smells that, we as humans smell. There are actually people that like that smell because they were never told it's a bad smell. And when they were young, they have memories of camping with their parents, which are very favorable memories. So in the context of smelling a skunk out in the woods, they were not told this is something you need to stay away from. And it actually brings them back to a time when they have a very good memory of their family and being young. So this is very true. That's an extreme example, but it's very true with all smells. So, for example, some people may really like roses or the smell of rose fragrance because when they were young, maybe their family, their mother, their father kept roses, fresh roses on the table, and it's something that, they grew up with. There are other people who don't like roses because their first memory of the smell of a rose is at a funeral of, say, a parent or a grandparent. So when you're analyzing the fragrances you like, try to think back and try to now, with this mindset of why you like certain things. Why maybe you like cedar, maybe why you like oud, maybe why you like, incense. Maybe it's something that reminds you of growing up in the smell of a church and you have fond memories of going to church as a child with your parents. But as I've read a lot of books on the science and the psychology of smell and fragrance, this has really opened up my eyes and my brain as to why I'm attracted to certain smells and why I like certain smells. So again, remember, odor associative learning behavior, it's very important. It also explains, by the way, why certain cultures like certain smells. So for example, I'll give you an example. In England, the smell of spearmint typically was not associated with something fresh and clean. It actually was not exactly the best smell, where in the United States, it is typically a fresh, clean kind of chewing gum smell. So within different cultures, whether you're in the Middle East or say, the West, or maybe in India or Asia, we all have different smells. Smell of sweat in certain cultures is considered very sexy. In other cultures, it's not. So this all plays a role into what we like. And I think the more information we have, right, and the more information we know about ourselves, it makes it easier for us to determine why we like certain things, and also maybe why we can, I think, expand our mind into other smells once we realize why maybe we're not favorable to a certain smell. Because we're all, again, born with a blank slate. A tabula rasa, is kind of a blank slate, meaning that we are born really open to all these different things, and it's really a matter of the context we learn smells. And the problem is when you learn something very young to either like or not like a certain smell, it is very hard to overcome that later in life, and it takes work. It takes it because, again, it's hardwired into your brain now, that odor associative learning behavior. So that's one of the reasons, again, why we all like different fragrances. It's really about that principle. It's not because inherently the smell is bad or good or whatever. It's because that is the context and the way we associate those smells. So anyways, that's why, again, of course, certain fragrances have a lot of the similar smells that are ones people typically like. Again, vanilla, why it's one of the most common fragrance elements, because vanilla is one of the most common and most commonly liked smells because it's been associated with our mother, with nurturing from the time we were very young. So there you have it, just a little science, little explanation of why we like certain smells, why we like what we like, and maybe what you can do as a fragrance connoisseur to kind of expand your horizons and try to maybe understand why you like certain things, and you can probably now think back to when you were younger as to why you associate those smells with things you like. This is JoelTheNose. Thank you guys for watching. Of course, I'll be back soon with another video. I am again here still in Los Angeles, LA, enjoying myself. And you guys take care. Peace and love.